Texas House District 125 runoff candidates square off in a public forum. An egg discovery scrambles San Antonio's plan to crack down on egrets. And the Alamo Colleges board votes to forgive debt for returning students. This is your Express Briefing podcast for Wednesday, February 27th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. Tuesday, the two candidates in the runoff for House District 125 took opposite positions on abortion, background checks for gun sales, and the state's controversial voter purge effort. The Leon Valley Forum saw a small business owner and Republican Fred Ronhell note that he can't support any bill that would, in his words, kill another embryo or child, and that universal background checks for gun sales chip away at Second Amendment rights. Ronhell also said the Texas Secretary of State's recent effort to purge non-citizens from the voter rolls, which the agency later admitted wrongly included the names of thousands of citizens who have the right to vote, is about, quote, illegals taking over the system. In stark contrast, former San Antonio City Councilman and Democrat Ray Lopez said a woman should have the right to choose, that background checks for gun sales are a common-sense measure both parties should consider, and that the voter purge was, in his words, undemocratic. Both Ronhell and Lopez have emerged from a February 12th special election that featured 4 Democrats and Ronhell as the lone Republican, who finished with a strong first-place total of nearly 38% of the vote. Lopez received over 19%, and a runoff was triggered when no candidate took in 50% of the total vote. The off-cycle campaign will determine who becomes San Antonio's next state representative in the Texas House. In January, Justin Rodriguez vacated the seat when he accepted an appointment to replace the late Paul Elizondo on the Bexar County Commissioner's Court. Early voting in the HD 125 runoff begins Monday and will continue through March 8th. 3 eggs found in a nest at Elmendorf Lake have halted plans by the city and Joint Base San Antonio to remove cattle egrets, birds deemed a risk factor for aircraft using nearby military runways. As federal law prevents the harassment and dispersal of breeding birds, the discovery will buy time for opponents of the plan to suggest alternatives, and means the city can't use lasers, pyrotechnics, habitat modification, or other tactics to encourage the many cattle egrets to move away from the West Side Park. Officials have said the between 8 to 1,200 cattle egrets that rest during the breeding season could endanger pilots and aircraft because they cross runways at JBSA Lackland and Kelly Field at Port San Antonio. Last year, C-5 operations at the 433rd Airlift Wing at JBSA Lackland reported 35 wildlife strikes, with the number of strikes having risen each of the past 3 years. Kelly Field saw 61 bird strikes in 2017 and 63 in 2018, but since 2010, only 8 strikes have been known to involve cattle egrets. While residents near the lake say they didn't learn of the disposal project until after it was developed and announced in the days before it was to start, the city maintains it mailed notices about 2 community meetings this month to those living within a mile of the park, and contacted 12 community organizations by phone and email. And in an effort to improve degree completion and retention, the Alamo Colleges board has voted to forgive up to $1.8 million in debt to help 9,000 former Bexar County students re-enroll and continue working toward degrees or credentials. Tuesday, the Fresh Start program was unanimously approved to apply for those who owe $500 or less from before the fall 2017 semester and have not graduated or earned certificates. The debt would otherwise prevent students from re-enrolling until it was paid off and will be forgiven after completing 6 credit hours with a C or above, attending a financial literacy workshop, and developing an academic plan with an advisor. The new program aims to help students who may have left college due to unexpected life events or financial constraints. And that's your daily San Antonio Express briefing for Wednesday, February 27th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts.